He thought he could rewrite our story, erase what happened, edit the truth, replace it with a version where he was the hero and I was the mistake. But liars always forget one thing. Real stories leave real fingerprints. And one small detail, one tiny piece he never expected, ended up exposing everything. My name is Mira, and before I ever wanted revenge, all I wanted was peace. But peace isn't something you get when you're with a man like Armin. A man who could look you in the eyes and lie without blinking. A man who performed sincerity like it was his favorite show. A man who spent months rewriting our life together in secret. The world saw him as charming, kind, warm. I saw him as something else, a puzzle with too many missing pieces. And one morning, when I finally found the piece he tried to hide, the whole picture changed. It happened with a single photograph, a harmless one, something he never thought I'd notice. But that photograph didn't just expose his lies, it turned everything upside down. Our relationship, our home, our future, our history. It showed me that while I was busy loving him, he was busy editing me out. You want to know how his perfect little plan fell apart? You want to know how the detail he overlooked became the weapon I used? Let me take you back to the first cracks, the first doubts, the first moments when the truth tried to warn me, but I ignored it. Before I continue, tell me, where are you watching from, and what time is it where you are? Because this story, my story, begins quietly, but it doesn't stay quiet for long. When I met Armin, he felt like a soft landing. I was coming out of a brutal year, a job loss, a friendship break, and a family argument that still stung. He showed up exactly when life felt heavy. He listened when I talked. He remembered the small things I said. He made me feel seen. That's how manipulators start. Not with chaos, but comfort. He would say things like, "You deserve someone who never gives up on you. I'm here for the long run. You can trust me." And I believed him. Because when you're tired, you don't question kindness. You cling to it. Everything between us moved smoothly. Dates, phone calls, plans, promising words. But somewhere beneath the surface, something felt too polished. Like a script he'd practiced before. Still, I ignored it. Because I wanted it to be real. The first odd thing happened a month in. He canceled our anniversary dinner last minute, but posted stories of him working late with a different shirt than the one he wore when I dropped him off. The second crack came when he kept changing details in stories he'd already told me. Where he was, who he met, what time he reached home. Tiny things, easy to overlook, but lies usually start small. Then came the biggest red flag. He never let me take pictures of us. He'd laugh and say, "I look terrible today," or "I'm not feeling camera ready." But he had no problem taking pictures of everything else. Food, buildings, mirrors, even stray cats on the street. Just not us. I didn't push it. But my gut stored every detail silently. I should have listened sooner, because eventually the truth didn't whisper. It screamed. And when it did, I realized Armin wasn't building a future with me. He was building a story where I didn't exist. It happened on a Tuesday afternoon. He left his tablet at my place, the one he used for work, and the one he guarded like a secret. He always said, "Don't open it. It has confidential data." So I never did. But that day, the screen lit up with a notification. A new folder upload titled, "Final Draft, Relationship Timeline." My stomach dropped. Relationship timeline? Why would he need a draft for that? I didn't open the folder. Not yet. Instead, I called him. "Hey, you forgot your tablet." His voice cracked. Just a tiny hitch. pick it up tonight. Don't touch anything, okay?" Why did he sound scared? The moment he hung up, my curiosity turned into dread. This wasn't about privacy. This was about hiding something. I opened the folder. Inside, I found a series of photos, notes, voice recordings, screenshots, but not of me. They were all of him, with someone else, a woman named Sana. Dinner photos, holiday photos, late-night chats, plans, future ideas, all dated, back to the time when he and I were already together. My mouth went dry. My hands shook. But what destroyed me wasn't the pictures. It wasn't even the betrayal. It was the captions under each photo, written by Armin himself. Step 1, build emotional trust. Step 2, show consistency. Step 3, shift narrative. Step 4, gradually introduce doubts about past relationship. Step 5, strengthen connection through shared activities. It read like instructions, like a playbook, like I was nothing but a practice run for the story he wanted to build with someone else. But then came the detail, the one thing he overlooked, a selfie taken in his car, the day he told me he was stuck in traffic, the day he said he couldn't meet me because he had urgent work. The picture showed him smiling, the woman beside him laughing, but something in the background caught my eye. A small sticker on his rear window, a sticker I had placed there weeks earlier, a sticker he never knew about. And that sticker, my sticker, was sitting right behind him in a photo with another woman. In that one detail, his entire narrative collapsed, and I realized something simple. He wasn't just rewriting our story, he was deleting me from it. That day, something inside me shifted. Not sadness, not heartbreak, something sharper, a plan. I didn't confront him immediately. That would have given him control. Instead, I watched him perform. That evening, he arrived at my place with flowers. Bright smile, warm tone, practiced charm. "Mira, I missed you today." His lies had rhythm, smooth, polished, confident. But now that I knew what he was, every word felt hollow. He talked about work, traffic, how tired he was, the same lines he rehearsed in his draft. Part of me wanted to scream. Part of me wanted to throw the tablet at him. But silence is a more dangerous weapon. So I waited. A week passed, then 2. He continued his double life effortlessly. I watched him juggle chats, excuses, and pre-planned stories. Every lie he told Sana matched the lies he told me. He wasn't in love with either of us. He was in love with the performance. His betrayal wasn't emotional. It was strategic. He wanted a story where he was the victim, the hero, the misunderstood man who finally found the right woman. And he wanted us, me, and Sana, to fit into those roles. But he didn't know the ending of his story was about to change. A friend of mine worked at the restaurant he visited with her. I showed her the photos. She confirmed the dates, confirmed the timings, confirmed the lies. Everything lined up, every detail matched. But when I showed her the photo with the sticker, she froze. "Mira, that sticker is from your charity event last month. Didn't you put it on his car after the cleanup drive?" I nodded. "Then this picture is recent," she whispered. "Very recent." That's when the betrayal wasn't just betrayal. It was humiliation. He used my time, my trust, my loyalty, my support while building a life with someone else using the same lies he gave me. He didn't just rewrite our story, he plagiarized it. And that was the moment my revenge was born. But not the loud kind, not the dramatic kind, the quiet kind, the kind that unfolds slowly, the kind he would never see coming. And it all began with the same detail he thought meant nothing, the sticker. You can't destroy a liar by shouting. You destroy them with their own words. So I downloaded everything. His drafts, photos, notes, timelines, every version of the truth he tried to edit. And I organized it, chronologically, neatly, professionally, just like his fake relationship timeline with her. Then I reached out to her, not with anger, not with blame, not with bitterness. Just with one sentence. Hi, Sana. I think you and I are part of the same story. Can we talk? She replied within minutes. Women know when something feels wrong. We met at a cafe. Her hands trembled as she held her cup. What is this about? She whispered. I didn't speak. I simply slid the tablet across the table. She stared, then scrolled, then gasped. Her face went pale. He told me all these things too, she whispered. The same dates, the same lines, word for word. Exactly. We weren't two women fighting for the same man. We were two characters in the same script he duplicated. She wasn't my enemy. She was my mirror. And together we built a plan. A calm, calculated, devastating plan. We compared dates, screenshots, photos, messages, locations. Everything matched perfectly, like two chapters of the same book. Our goal wasn't to scream or fight or insult him. Our goal was simple: expose the truth so cleanly that he couldn't rewrite it ever again. And the universe handed us the perfect stage. His birthday dinner. He was planning a grand speech that night, a proposal speech. But life is funny. His script wasn't the only script in that room. Mine was stronger. The restaurant was full, lights warm, music soft, guests waiting for him to speak. He loved attention. He loved being the shining center of every room. And that night, he expected applause. He stood up with a smile, cleared his throat, and began. I want to talk about love. But his voice stopped, because that's when Sana and I walked in, together, side by side. The entire room turned. His face drained of color instantly. Mira? Sana? What are you doing together? We didn't answer. Instead, we placed the tablet on the center table, open on the exact folder where he rewrote our stories. The photos of him with her, the photos of him with me, the identical messages, the steps, the timelines, the scripts, everything. His world shrank in seconds. The guests stared. His family stared. The waiters froze mid-step. He tried speaking. I can explain. But the words died in his throat. Because explain what? The lies? The double life? The scripts he wrote for both of us? The story he tried to stage? I didn't shout. I didn't insult him. I didn't cry. I just said one line. You rewrote the story, Armin. But you forgot one detail. You can't erase the truth. Sana added softly, and you can't copy-paste love. The room was silent, completely still. For the first time, he wasn't the center of attention. He was the center of exposure. That was the moment his script fell apart. Not because of drama, but because the truth walked in holding hands. He tried rewriting our story, but the original version walked back in stronger than his lies. He didn't chase us, didn't defend himself, didn't try to fix anything, because there was nothing to fix. Everything was documented, organized, undeniable. He simply sat down, silent, small, and finally honest in a room where lies couldn't breathe. Sana and I never fought, never blamed each other. We became each other's closure. People often expect women to tear each other apart over a man, but the real story? When women put the pieces together, the liar has nowhere left to hide. I moved on peacefully. Started focusing on myself again, found work that made me proud, found friends who valued honesty, found a life where no one could rewrite my story. And him? He became a memory, a chapter that ended the moment truth walked into the room. Manipulators think they're smarter than everyone. They think they can edit the truth, control the narrative, and shape people like characters in a cheap story. But they always make one mistake. They underestimate the strength of the people they hurt. They forget that truth doesn't disappear. It hides, it waits, it collects proof quietly, and then it rises. If someone tries to rewrite your story, don't fight their lies with noise. Fight with clarity. Fight with evidence. Fight with calm. Fight with the truth they never expected you to carry. That is the quietest, sharpest revenge you will ever give.